ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So today we are going to start the last chapter of Śrimad Bhagavad Gītā. So it was a very wonderful journey, and still we have a few more classes to study along. And this is the last chapter, as the name suggests, Moksha Yoga. That is the conclusion of this entire scripture. That is the perfection of renunciation. So, in the beginning, we will have an outlook of this chapter. So, primarily, we can divide this section according to the topic of discussion into 7 sections. Though there are subsections and they are all intermingled, but for our convenience, we will have a simple outlook. So in the beginning, the first 12 verses talk about the essence of Karma Yoga. That is how Karma Yoga is a means of getting freedom from bondage. So the essence of Karma Yoga. Next, 13 to 17 or 18 verse. It is the essence of Jnana Yoga. That is the 5 factors of action. And then from 19 to 40, the modes control all activities and all beings. This will be established. How the gunas, they are having the control over all the activities and all the beings. A little bit we have already discussed, but here as it is a conclusion. And then from 41 to 48 we see purification through prescribed duties of Varnashrama. Then from 49 to 55, Brahman platform, that is confidential knowledge, Guhya Jnana. And from 56 to 66, it is pure bhakti, that is acting in Krishna consciousness or divine consciousness. And the last, that is 67 to 78, it is the final conclusion. So there are many more things that is there embedded within the topics, but this is the general outline we can say. So in the beginning we see there is a question from Arjuna's side. The last question that Arjuna asks in this scripture. Though we are calling it as a question, but actually it is not exactly a question also. It is very similar to the question that Arjuna asks in the beginning of chapter 3 and in the beginning of chapter 5 also. But here we see in the beginning of 11th chapter, Arjuna said that Mohayam Vigato, that is, all my delusions are removed, Krishna, by the wisdom that I have received from you. And after that also, why Arjuna is asking this question? Actually, it is not the question as we just said, because in the beginning of 3rd chapter, there was a very sharp tone when Arjuna asked Krishna, why are you engaging me in this ghastly war? Because you just said that jnana is more important than that of karma. So that was his understanding. So why? And then again, after hearing all the things about karma and jnana in chapter 3 and 4, Arjuna's confusion was still there very much. He again asked in the beginning of chapter 5 that Arjuna, you are praising both jnana and karma. I am confused. Which path is the best for me? Please tell me particularly. So there also we see it was a very sharp tone. Here is a very soft tone. As we see, we just will go through the verse and then we will understand what I mean. So actually, when we ask a question, there is a presence of some problem always in the background of a question. But here there is no problem as such. But still Arjuna is asking this because he wanted to be absolutely sure. Okay, so let me chant. Let us chant. Okay. Sannyasasya mahabaho tattvamicchami veditum tyagasya cha hrishikesha prithak keshi nishudana. Synonyms. Arjuna uvacha, Arjuna said, Sannyasasya of renunciation, Mahabaho, O mighty armed one, Tattvam, the truth, Ichchami, I wish, Veditum, to understand, Tyagasya of renunciation, Cha also, Shikesha, O master of the senses, Prithak, differently, Keshi Nishudana, O killer of the Keshi demon. Translation. Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, that is Tyaga, and of the renounced order of life, that is Sannyasa, O killer of the Keshi demon, master of the senses. So Arjuna is asking, I want to know it differently. The tattva of Tyaga and the tattva of Sannyasa. So will you please tell me again? And here, see the addressing of Arjuna. The softness, why we are saying the softness of this utterance from Arjuna. Mahabahu, Shikesha, and Keshi Nishudana. 3 addresses. Mahabahu, because you are the most powerful. So the wisdom also is the most powerful that you are giving. And Shikesha. So you are the controller of all the senses. And the strongest sense, that is the mind, it is still not in my control absolutely. So please, Krishna, take the full control of my mind and remove all my doubts if there is still any. And Keshi Nishudana, that is the killer of the demon Keshi. So in Krishna's childhood only, he killed this powerful demon Keshi. So it is as if Arjuna tries to say that, oh Krishna, it is a very easy thing for you to remove, to kill the demons of doubt in my mind, because in your childhood only you have killed demons like Keshi. So it is very easy for you. So the chosen words by Arjuna, see, he praises, he is at the same time glorifying the Lord and tries to clear his doubts. So we see from 1 to 6, it is actually the answer in a nutshell. And it is like as Krishna confirms that, see Arjuna, as true sannyasi, he does not he does not renounce his activities, but renounces the fruits of all activities. So renouncing the activities, Krishna never suggested or never grants this, that, okay, renounce your activities. No, renounce the fruits of your activities. And, okay, let me chant verses, we will understand. Then we will discuss. Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam kavayo vituhu sarva karma phalatyagam prahustyagam vichakshanaha. Synonyms. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Kamyanam, with desire, karmanam, of activities, nyasam, renunciation, sannyasam, the renounced order of life, kavayaha, the learned, viduhu, no, sarva, of all, karma, activities, phala, of results, tyagam, renunciation, prahuhu, call, tyagam, renunciation, vichakshanaha, the experienced. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, that is sannyasa. And giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation, that is tyaga. Let me chant the next verse also. Tyajyam doshavadyeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadana tapah karma natyajyamiti chapare. Synonyms. Tyajyam, must be given up. Doshavad, as an evil. Iti, thus. Eke, one group. Karma, work. Prahuhu, they say. Manishinam, Manishinaha, great thinkers, Yajna, of sacrifice, Dana, charity, Tapaha, and penance, Karma, works, Na, never, Tyajam, are to be given up, Iti, thus, Cha, and Apare, others. Translation. Some activities, Some learned men declared that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. The next one. Then we will discuss, okay? Fourth. Nishchayam shrinu me tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyaghra trividha samprakirtitaha. Synonyms. Nishchayam, certainty. Shrinu, hear. Me, from me. Tatra, therein. Tyage, in the matter of renunciation. Bharata sattama, O best of the Bharatas. Tyagaha, renunciation. He, certainly. Purusha Vyaghra, O tiger among human beings. Trividhaha, of three kinds. Samprakirtitaha is declared. Translation. O best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Okay. What three kinds? That he will discuss later. Yajna dana tapah karma natyajam karyam evatat Yajnadana tapah karma na tyajyam karyameva tat. Yajnadanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Yajna of sacrifice, dana charity, tapaha and penance, karma activity, na never, tyajyam to be given up, karyam must be done, eva certainly, tat that, yajnaha sacrifice, danam charity, tapaha penance, cha also, eva certainly, pavanani purifying, manishinam even for the great souls. Translation. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. Okay, next one. एतन्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानिति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्. Synonyms. Etani, all these. Api, certainly. Tu, but. Karmani, activities. Sangam, association. Tyaktva, renouncing. Phalani, results. Cha, also. Kartavyani, should be done as duty. Iti, thus. Me, my. Partha, O son of Pritha. Nishchitam, definitely. Matam, opinion. Uttamam, the best. Translation. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pritha. That is my final opinion. So as we just said, the final opinion of Krishna here is the essence of Karma Yoga. That is, a true sannyasi is he who does not renounce his activities, but renounces the fruits of his activities. So we see that now we will discuss a little bit. That is, there are different opinions regarding the renunciation. So, usually we think that sannyasa means the last ashrama of the varnashrama system, that is chaturashrama, and a person completely engages himself in the spiritual activities, that is Brahma Anudhyana, we can say. So, Krishna in this scripture, he says repeatedly about the duty of a grihastha. And he knows that the grihastha ashrama ultimately ends up in sannyasa ashrama. So Arjuna was still expecting that if Krishna says anything like that, that as he says, Tyaga Chantir Anantaram, so ultimate peace one can derive from Tyaga. So what is this tattva of Tyaga that I want to confirm? So as Krishna says in 5th chapter, that what is sannyasa, that is tyaga. It is the same thing. There is no difference. Because sannyasis, they leave all the activities. And the yogi, they are engaged in all the activities without any desire of fruits. So both are same, because in one it is just about leaving all the activities, and other is leaving the fruits of activities. So there in 5th chapter, Bhagavan says. So Arjuna is still confused. So that's why he asks it, yes, this question. So actually, though sannyasa is the last ashrama, that is the of this Chaturashrama, but actually sannyasa in that aspect, it is a particular condition in the social life, we can say. That is sannyasa, leaving all activities. Now, Bhagavan says here in these few verses, and in the later verses also, that is, O Arjuna, actually in the spiritual life, sannyasa is actually a particular state of mind. It is not any state in the social point of view, from the social point of view, but it is a state of mind. Most of the people think that sannyasa is an external behavior. Arjuna also thinks the same. But Bhagavan says, no, sannyasa is not the external behavior or outfit or anything like that, but sannyasa is a bhava. It is a mood. It is the state of mind. It is a bhava. So whether a sannyasi who is having this power in his heart, living in the house or in the forest, that doesn't matter. That does not matter. But actually, he is engaged in all the activities, but his activity is naishkarmya. Naishkarmya or akarma, as he said in, here he says naishkarmya, but in 4th chapter, he said akarma. So we see, it is not about rejecting the activities. It's about embracing the activities with that particular power in the heart. So, who is having that power in the heart? He is a sannyasi. And who is not having that power in the heart? He, instead of behaving like a sannyasi, wearing outfits like sannyasi, is not a sannyasi at all. So it is the firm decision of Bhagavan here. And we see in the scripture, Bhagavad Gītā, there is no contradiction between a person living in the house and a person who is a sannyasi. It is the same. It can be the same person. The difference is in between kami and sannyasi. A person having desire in his heart, maybe desire for fruits of his activities, and the sannyasi is free from all desire. So, who is expecting the fruits of his activities? He is a kami or a bhogi, we can say. On the other hand, who is not having the desire in his heart of getting results of his activities, he is a sannyasi. So that is why here Bhagavan says that few people say that that giving up of all activities based on material desire, that is kamya karma. So kamya karma, so there are certain classification of karma we can see. I will just go through it in a nutshell. That is, the first is, according to our scriptures, first is nitya karma, that is daily obligatory duties, like japa, like daily Gayatri mantra recitation, etc. So they are nitya karma. They must be done in all circumstances. Then is naimittika karma. Naimittika means the occasional obligatory duties. It is not to be done on regular basis, but occasion. So like there are certain samskaras. Altogether we have 40 samskaras from Garbhadhana to Shraddha. But there are 6 major. So the samskaras are mentioned in the Vedic scriptures, like Jata samskara, Upanayana samskara, Annaprashana samskara, then Vidyarambham, then this Upanayana, then Vivaha, and all these things we know. And Kamya karma to be rejected. That is like any rites which are done to attain specific desired goals, that is to attain Swargaloka or something like that. They are Kamya karma. And the fourth is Prayashchitta karma, that is rites for atonement of sins. Okay, so that is also Prayashchitta karma. And the last one is Nishiddha karma, that is healing anybody or any creature, or drinking alcohols, etc. They are all Nishiddha karma, or having relationship with others, a spouse, so something like this. So they are all Nishiddha karma. So Nishiddha karma definitely 100% to be avoided, and Kamya karma is also to be avoided. A few people say that, and not a few people. Here Bhagavan says just in the shloka, but it is to be avoided because there is desire of results here, attaining some goal, some material goal. So definitely that is to be avoided. So here we see that Bhagavan says here in second verse that few Panditas, they say that sannyasa means rejecting all the kamya karma. And some people say that leaving all the fruits of all kinds of activities, that is tyaga. So actually, any kinds of activities, any activity that is done without the desire of fruits, then it is free. It can free a person from this material bondage. And here Bhagavan says in third verse, that is Tyajyam doshavadityege karma prahur manishinaha. Because there is some fault associated with all the works, and that's why it is better to reject all the activities, as the sannyasis, the typical sannyasis do. So Okay, so just a minute. But we see and here it is said that yajna dana tapa karma na tyajam iti shapre. Yajna dana tapa, that is sacrifice, charity, and austerity, these are not to be avoided. These are, there is no question of abandoning this. So Bhagavan is actually citing the opinion of both the parties. And then he says that Nishchayam Shrunume Tatra Tyage Bharata Sattama Tyagu Hi Purusha Vyagra Trivida Samprakirtita. So renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds that he will discuss later. And Yajna Dana Tapak Karma Na Tyaja Karyamevacha. It is his conclusion. Yajna Danam Tapascheva Pavanani Manishika. So Yajna Dana Tapa, these are not to be abandoned because they can be purificatory process. And they can actually purify one person. So like renunciation of work, as here we see, it is said that Vasishta Muni, he says that when a person are engaged in this selfless activities, he need not renounce work, but ultimately what will happen, work will live him up. For the root of all work, that is the desire. Actually, there is the desire that is the root of our activities. It is destroyed. So when it is destroyed, then the activities actually gives up the person. You need not to give up the activities. So that is said by Vasishta. He says that na karmani tyajyat yogi karma bhis tyajyate hyasau karmano moola bhutasya sankalpasya nashataha. So when there is no sankalpa, then definitely there is no karma. So till then, the prescribed duties to be performed. Okay, so etanyapitu karmani, yajnadana tapak karma, yes, natyajam karyame tat yajnadana tapaschaiva pavanani manisha, because it purifies the great souls also. Not only the common people, but the great souls also. So we see when we are engaged in certain activities, usually we have the expectation of getting some fruits and also the I-ness, that is, I am doing this, kartritva abhiman. So yajna dana tapa, these are the activities that can purify our heart. So They are not to be rejected. They are not to be avoided. They are not to be abandoned at all. But that also we have to do, as we have studied in the previous chapter, that yajna, dana, tapa, how they are to be performed. In the fixing yourself in sattva guna, sattvika dana, sattvika yajna, sattvika tapasya, and Om Tat Sat. That is, I am not doing this. I am not the doer. Such vision, such understanding should be there. So sometimes there is some renunciation which are for the reason that I don't want to do this because they are very troublesome. So if this is the reason behind the tyaga, then that is not sattvika tyaga. That is renunciation in the mood of passion. And Bhagavan says that be sattvika. Develop sattva guna. Be consistent in sattva guna. And then you will be able to do this kinds of activities. So we see that the action and the doership, that is the most deadly combination that we are all suffering through. We are doing all the activities with the understanding of doership, that I am doing this. So Bhagavan is saying here that, oh Arjuna, please keep aside this doership mentality. Leave behind all the fruits that you may expect and engage yourself with all your power, with all your heart in the activities that is meant for you. So sometimes we see that this sangam tyaktva, where it is? Yes, in verse 6. Sangam tyaktva, that is without attachment. It is both sangam tyaktva, phalanicha. Sangam means this doership mentality, and phalani means giving up the best for results. So both to be abandoned. So that is real tyaga. So then Bhagavan says that how the three kinds of renunciation, that is that we can also study today. Niyatasya tu sannyasah karmano nopapadyate mohattasya parityagas tamasah parikirtitah. So I'm just skipping the words, the meaning of the words. Translation. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So, mohat, that is by ignorance. So, if someone renounces the nitya karma and naimittika karma by mohat, that is mohat, that is by delusion. So then it is called as tamasatya. This kind of renunciation is in the mode of ignorance. So there is no use of such tyaga. It is not at all tyaga. So that is why Bhagavan said that niyatam kuru karmatvam. Always do your prescribed duties. They are never to be rejected. So nitya karma means the different yajnas, that is Brahma yajna, Pitri yajna, Deva yajna, Bhuta yajna, and Ri yajna. That is Brahma yajna means Swadhyaya, that is studying the Vedic scriptures. Pitri yajna means offering vegetarian food to the ancestors, that is the Pitrus. And then Deva yajna, that is offering of oblations to the Devatas. And Bhuta yajna, that is offering blessings to all created beings. That is feeding other living creatures also if possible. Nri yajna, that is showing hospitality to the guests who comes by, feeding the humans, feeding prashadam if possible. So these are the nitya karmas, that is daily performance, which includes this pancha mahayajna, that must not be abandoned. And if one abandons this by delusion, then it is tamasatyaga. And if one abandons it, thinking them to be troublesome, then it is rajasatyaga. That is dukkhamittyevas yat karma kaya klesha bhayatyajit sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. So it is like translation. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear or bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. So they are not true renunciation at all. So as Baladeva Vidya Bhushana, he says that is the results of such tamasika tyaga is actually ignorance, going deeper in ignorance instead of attaining knowledge. So the nitya karmas and the naimittika karmas, they can produce liberation. That is why they are not to be rejected. And activities that promote one to spiritual life, that is always welcome. Like cooking for the Lord, offering and accepting should not be given up under any circumstances. That is, in the persons in renounced order of life also should not cook for himself, but cooking for Krishna is not prohibited. It is granted. So yeah, Bhagavan describes, in the next verse, he describes the Sattvika Tyaga. Karyamityeva yat karma niyatam kriyatirjuna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko mataha. So that is Sattvika Tyaga. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness, and that is prescribed by the Lord. So, renouncing all material association and all attachment to the fruit, as Bhagavan said earlier also, sangam tyaktva phalanicha. So, no doership mentality, no desire for fruits. So, this is the perfect renunciation. The next verse. Na dveshtya kushalam karma kushalena nushachyate tyagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna samshayaha. Translation. The intelligent renouncier situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful nor inauspicious work, nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work. So that is very beautiful. A person in perfect divine consciousness or in the mode of goodness does not hate anyone or anything which troubles his body or mind. So he does work in the proper place and at the proper time without fearing the troublesome effects of his duty. Such a person situated in transcendence should be understood to be most intelligent and beyond all doubts in his activities. So he has not 1% of doubt in his mind that why I am doing these activities. If he is an intelligent renouncier, as Bhagavan says, who is situated in Sattva, he does not think about auspicious work and inauspicious work. He is equal to both because these are his duties. And without any attachment, he is doing this. The last verse of this section. 2. Nahi deha bhrita shakyam tyaktum karmanyasheshatah yastu karma phalatyagi satyagitya. Translation. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. So, as we just said, this scripture never says about giving up of activities at any point of time. So, who works being unattached and without the desire of fruits, he is the sannyasi according to Bhagavad Gītā. Anishtamishtam mishrancha trividham karmanah phalam bhavatyatyaginah pretya natu sannyasinam kvachit. Anishtam, leading to hell. Let me read these synonyms. Ishtam, leading to heaven. Mishram, mixed. Cha and Trividham, of three kinds. Karmanaha, of work. Phalam, the result. Bhavati, comes. Atyaginam, of for those who are not renounced. Pretya, after death. Na, not. Tu, but. Sannyasinam, for the renounced order. Kvachit, at any time. Translation. For one who is not renounced, the threefold fruits of action, that is desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. Which means, who is not able to renounce the fruits of activities and the mentality of doership is bound by the threefold fruits of action. Desirable, undesirable, and mixed. Always the fruits are not very desirable. But those who are in renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. Who has that bhava in the heart? The bhava of renunciation, sannyasa, is a bhava, as we just said. Then he is liberated. So who is in divine consciousness or Krishna consciousness or supreme consciousness or absolute consciousness and acting in knowledge of his relationship with the Lord, he is liberated. He never enjoys or suffers the results of his activities after death. But if one is unable to do so, he has to suffer. So, Nishtam means suffering in the form of hell, that is naraka. And Ishtam means happiness in the form of swarga, that is either improved life or deteriorated life, or the mixture of both, that is still suffering in the human form in the next life. So perfect renunciation means liberation. Okay, so with this, we will close today's session. And in our next class, we will discuss the next section. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Thank you very much for joining. Hare Krishna.